Donald Trump is trying to forcibly occupy Greenland, and we need to support him. Here's why. To understand this, we need to look at two major things: where Greenland is located on a map and the recent movement of China. Greenland is smack dab in the middle of North America, Russia, and Asia. Also, it's surrounded by water, so it has direct proximity to multiple very important aquatic trade routes, including the Northwest Passage and the GIUC. One of the huge advantages America has is our distance physically from the major nations that would seek to do us harm. I'm talking about Russia, China, and the Middle Eastern countries that scream death to America. The reason we stay safe is because we are so physically far away. They cannot reach us with an attack without us seeing it well in advance. However, if you pay attention, you see that China has been inching closer and closer to the United States with very strategic alliances with our surrounding countries, including the BRICS situation with Brazil, which is right beneath us, multiple African nations, and recently Canada. Yes, our neighbor, Canada, has decided to align itself with China. Greenland would allow us to not only monitor what Asia is doing and stop Chinese troops if they decide to come through that water passage, but also it gives us a strategic advantage with 3 points of entry into Canada if Canada decides to act crazy. So one thing that you guys need to realize is that, yes, there were treaties in place, and that's why NATO wants to get involved, but the fact is the treaties suck. They do not protect the United States. That's why we backed out of the Green New Deal. You should look into that. But if NATO would rather us not defend ourselves, then we don't need NATO. And we can take them in a war, guys. I think you forgot. We are the biggest and baddest country in the world when it comes to military defenses. We don't need to be afraid of anybody, especially with our strategic positioning. But as our enemies get closer, we need to be smart about this. So stop being scared. Stop pushing back with what the president is doing. Support him, because this will end up being a good thing for us down the line.